In the glittering world of social media, where millions compete for attention, one name rises with an almost magnetic pull: Alexa Dellanos. But behind the glamour, the flawless photographs, and the millions of followers lies a story far more intriguing than most people imagine. She isn't just another Instagram sensation. She is the daughter of fame, shaped by shadows of legacy, and driven by her own relentless pursuit of identity. Born into the spotlight as the daughter of renowned journalist Dellanos, Alexa's life was never destined to be ordinary. From an early age, she was surrounded by flashing cameras, headlines, and the ever-present weight of public scrutiny. Yet, instead of following her mother's footsteps into traditional media, Alexa carved out her own empire on an entirely new stage: the digital world. With over 8 million followers, her rise wasn't just fast. It was transformative. But how does someone so young capture the gaze of millions and turn it into influence, power, and financial independence? The answer lies in the duality of her journey. Alexa represents both the dream and the struggle of modern fame. To her admirers, she is a fearless beauty queen, living a life of freedom, luxury, and bold self-expression. But to critics, she is a lightning rod for controversy, often accused of pushing the boundaries of what society accepts. This delicate balance between adoration and criticism would shape her into someone far more complex than her pictures reveal. Yet, even as her fame skyrocketed, Alexa's story carried deeper questions. What sacrifices are hidden behind the glamorous facade? What challenges lurked in the shadows of success? And perhaps most importantly, what secret battles did she fight to build the empire we see today? Because Alexa Dellanos is not simply an influencer. She is a modern symbol of transformation, of resilience, and of controversy that fuels curiosity. And her journey is about to show us that behind every perfect image lies a narrative of struggle, choice, and fearless ambition. But what happens when the spotlight becomes a cage? And how did Alexa manage to break free from the weight of expectations to define herself on her own terms? That's where her story truly begins. At first glance, Alexa Dellanos' journey looks effortless. An unbroken stream of beauty, success, and digital fame. But peel back the surface, and you find a story woven with struggle, scrutiny, and choices that tested not only her ambition, but her very identity. Growing up as the daughter of Dellanos, one of the most recognized journalists in the Spanish-speaking world, Alexa inherited a spotlight she never asked for. The public expected her to be polished, perfect, and perhaps to follow a traditional path into media, education, or business. Instead, Alexa chose the unpredictable stage of Instagram. A world where admiration can turn to backlash in an instant. Her rise to prominence was marked by bold images, fearless fashion, and unapologetic self-expression. But this daring path made her a target. For every follower celebrating her freedom, there were critics ready to dismiss her as superficial or accuse her of chasing fame for the wrong reasons. Alexa quickly learned that visibility is both a gift and a burden. The internet can crown you a queen, but it can just as quickly strip that crown away. Then came the controversies, the comments about her body, the whispers about plastic surgery, the judgment of her lifestyle choices. Every photograph she posted was dissected, every move she made scrutinized. Unlike many influencers, Alexa wasn't just building a brand. She was battling the heavy expectations tied to her family name. To some, she was Dellanos' daughter trying to escape a shadow. To others, she was a young woman daring to define beauty and success on her own terms. But criticism was only part of the challenge. Fame brought pressure, and pressure often leads to isolation. Alexa has openly hinted at the emotional weight of being misunderstood. The same platforms that gave her freedom also trapped her in a cycle of proving herself again and again, as if her value depended on the approval of strangers. For every glamorous post that earned likes, there were nights of self-reflection, of questioning whether the cost of influence was too high. And yet, here lies the paradox of Alexa Dellanos. She didn't retreat. Where others might have folded under the weight of constant scrutiny, Alexa grew stronger. Instead of hiding from criticism, she embraced it, transforming every headline, every judgment, every whispered controversy into fuel. She learned that the very backlash meant she was pushing boundaries. And boundaries, once pushed, create change. This resilience became her defining trait. Behind the curated images was a fighter. Someone who refused to let society dictate her identity. Alexa showed her followers that perfection isn't the absence of flaws, but the courage to live boldly in spite of them. And so, her challenges, Family expectations, public criticism, personal doubts didn't destroy her. They shaped her. They forced her to decide. Would she remain a figure defined by others, or would she seize control of her own story? The answer would shock her critics and inspire her fans. Because it was in the very crucible of controversy that Alexa forged her empire. But how exactly did she turn backlash into a blueprint for success? And what bold moves did she make that transformed her from influencer into a powerful brand with global reach? That revelation changes everything. And it's where her empire truly begins. Out of criticism, Alexa Dellanos built her foundation. Out of scrutiny, she shaped her voice. And from the fire of controversy, she forged something far more powerful than mere influence. She built an empire. Her path to success was not the result of chance. It was the product of strategy, timing, and an almost fearless willingness to turn her life into a brand. Alexa understood something vital. In a world saturated with influencers, image alone is not enough. You need story, consistency, and the ability to make people feel as if they are part of your journey. She began by mastering the art of visual storytelling. Every post on Instagram wasn't just a picture. It was a declaration of identity. Her bold swimwear shoots, luxury travel glimpses, and confident lifestyle portraits weren't random. They were carefully crafted moments designed to captivate an audience hungry for aspiration. Through this, she tapped into something deeper. The fantasy of a life lived without limits. But Alexa wasn't content with attention alone. She transformed her following into opportunity. Brands eager to connect with her millions of fans paid thousands for her endorsement. Clothing lines, beauty products, skincare companies, and luxury hotels saw her not just as a model, but as a marketing force. By her mid-20s, she was earning more through Instagram than many professionals earn in a year. What began as photographs became a business model. A blueprint that merged influence with income. And yet, here is the revelation that defined her empire. The moment at the heart of her transformation. Around the time critics thought she was only chasing glamour, Alexa was quietly building the foundation for something greater. She began designing her own projects. Photo filters, brand partnerships chosen with precision, and an upcoming activewear line that would extend her influence beyond digital screens into real-world products. At this moment, the 7-minute mark of her journey, Alexa Dellanos shifted from being the face of other brands to becoming the architect of her own. What makes her empire remarkable is not just its scale, but its resilience. Unlike many influencers whose fame burns bright and fades quickly, Alexa has sustained relevance by refusing to be predictable. She adapts, reinvents, and stays one step ahead of trends. She isn't just playing the influencer game, she is rewriting its rules. Her empire is not built on luck, but on calculated risk. She understood the value of investing in herself, of aligning with brands that matched her image, and of diversifying her influence beyond Instagram. She turned her page into a digital stage, her name into a brand, and her story into a movement. For her fans, Alexa became more than a model. She became proof that with vision and persistence, anyone can turn criticism into fuel and social media into power. For her critics, she became a reminder that dismissing her too quickly only strengthened her resolve. Today, Alexa Dellanos stands as one of the boldest examples of how modern fame is not about chasing acceptance. It's about creating your own lane and thriving in it. Her empire reflects not just beauty, but ambition. Not just luxury, but resilience. But the question lingers, as her influence expands and her empire grows, what legacy will Alexa Dellanos leave behind? And how will her story inspire the next generation to see that digital fame can be more than fleeting? It can be transformative. The answer lies in the legacy she is already creating. From the daughter of a celebrated journalist to the architect of her own digital empire, Alexa Dellanos has proven that influence is more than numbers on a screen. It is the ability to transform controversy into strength, and attention into opportunity. Her journey reminds us that behind the flawless images lies a young woman who has battled doubt, endured criticism, and yet emerged with resilience that few expected. She turned a spotlight that once threatened to confine her into a stage where she could define herself on her own terms. In the world of Instagram models, many rise and fade, but Alexa's story stands apart. It is not simply about fame, but about identity, courage, and the relentless pursuit of independence. She has shown her followers that you do not need to fit into the expectations set by others. You can write your own narrative, and in doing so, inspire millions. And so, her legacy is not just her beauty, nor her success, but the message she leaves behind. that power belongs to those willing to embrace who they are, even when the world questions them. What do you think Alexa Dellanos' story tells us about the future of fame, influence, and personal power? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. And if you've been inspired by her journey, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join us as we continue to uncover the untold stories of the icons shaping our world today.